Hello, everyone, and this is the All About You program. And we're back again with another topic on day number 4, speaking about dating. So, I brought my husband to help with this topic today. And as you know, there was a way we used to date when we were in the world before we gave our life to God.
Right.
And now that we are Christians, there's a godly way of dating. So, we're just going to give you a few tips on the right way to date, having discipline as well while you're dating.
More people today are more focused on the worldly type of dating. What is the worldly type of dating? The worldly type of dating is you meet a person and already you want to move in, you have intimacy with the person, and if it doesn't work out, you move on to the next person. There's no commitment, nothing whatsoever. Whereas the Christian dating, the ultimate goal is to get married,
Yes,
to spend the rest of your life with that person.
exactly. And you know, the main purpose of getting married is not just to have a title of Mrs.
Exactly.
or, living with someone. It's all about making the other person to be happy. So whereas before our goal was to be happy, to be fulfilled, for that void to be filled, it's now, okay, now my pleasure is to make this other person to be happy.
Exactly. That should always be the focus. Mm-hmm. The moment that people think differently, that's where selfishness comes in, and they get into a relationship because they want to be happy. They're not focused on the other person. They're focused more on themselves. So when they get into a relationship, when they start to date, and maybe even they get married, but because they went into that relationship with that mentality, they're looking for happiness. They're looking for something to fulfill them, and they can't find it because they went into that dating period, that relationship, in the wrong way. They even got married wrong.
Exactly. And when you're dating, during the point of dating, as you're knowing the person, check to see their belief.
Right.
If their faith is the same as your faith, their goals in life, their vision in life. Because maybe you may be like a go-getter, but they are a passive person. You need to also weigh this. So during the time of dating is to talk. Less of the lips
Yeah.
and more of the talking, to see the other person.
Many people today just want to fast track. They don't want to go through that period of making sure that things are done properly. They want to fast track, and that's why they end up losing altogether. Relationships become a failure. Marriages end up in divorce. It lasts for about a year, a few months, a few years, and they find out that this is actually not what they wanted. And then they need to start all over again. Whereas the Christian dating the aim is, this is it. I'm going to get to know someone, and I'm going to find out how they are, the same views, the same faith. I mean, let's use our example.
Yes.
We were dating for about a year plus, and I think the first 4 months, I already knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you.
Oh, same as well. Also, I did as well. And while we're dating, we use this opportunity to know each other.
Right.
To see how the other person thinks, the character, the behavior. Because these are the small details we need to look out for. Because if we turn a blind eye to it while dating in the future, it could be quite detrimental, literally, in our marriage.
Yeah.
And in our faith as well. So in the dating period, talk. Ask questions about their past, ask questions where they see themselves in the next 5 years. Find out about their relationship with God, their commitment with God. Those small things that we usually just try and ignore. Let us speak and get to know the other person.
Dating is not about, it's not a fashion. It's not for you to show off and say, okay, I'm with someone now. It's real life. This is your life you're talking about. This is someone else's life we're talking about. So it shouldn't be done in a rush. Getting to date, you shouldn't rush at all. It must be something that has been thought about. You know what you're doing, and you're getting to know the person. Again, with the aim of getting married.
Exactly.
Another thing that we find nowadays is the part where people in the dating period become very intimate. That's supposed to be done in the deeper part of the relationship, which is marriage. That's what it was created for. Obviously, the world has distorted that idea, thrown it out of the window, and many people have completely done the complete opposite. And today, suffering severe consequences because of that.
Exactly. So do's and don'ts, and while dating is avoid going to quiet places where there's no one around.
Agreed.
It's dark. You go out quite late and it's dark. So always be around people, because what you're gonna do in front of people, it's not anything inappropriate.
Exactly.
You see what I mean? So always be around people. Avoid going to each other's houses alone when there's no one there. And even though there are people in the house, it's not about you being in the bedroom and they're in the living room, but being together with them wherever, so that you avoid situations where you can be tempted, and you can fall as well. Also be careful when you're kissing. Make sure when it's getting hot, you need to have this discipline to say no, to stop.
I want to add to that because that's where many have failed, unfortunately. It's like driving a car very, very fast. There comes a period that if you don't slow down, you're going to drive uncontrollably, and what will eventually happen? You'll crash. That has happened in the time of the kissing, especially in the dating period. It gets heated and heated and heated, and instead of to put the brake on
and say no,
they carry on, and the rest is history, and it's a big downfall.
Exactly.
Sadly to say.
Yeah, that's why you have to have this self-discipline.
Self-discipline.
Understanding that, okay, if I keep going in this way, I'm going to end up falling and displeasing God as well. So you need to say no. Don't wait for him to say no to you. You have to be the one that is quite alert and say no. This is getting a bit deeper. Also if he's touching you inappropriately as well, you need to have this discipline to say no. Because already you're not married. He's not married to you, and he's having the right to touch you in places that only a husband should do to his wife.
Exactly. I remember when we were dating, I saw you, Kim, as a diamond.
Exactly.
I would feel uncomfortable. I never did that. I never touched her inappropriately. Intimately at the dating period, not at all. Why? Because I respected her, and this was someone that I saw that I would spend the rest of my life with. So why am I going to mess up everything because of something that I feel on the inside, or an emotion, or whatever it may be? So I agree with that point. We need to be very, very careful. And obviously, if there is a guy that is touching inappropriately, pushing to be intimate, wanting to take you to bed, then you need to consider if this guy is really for you.
Exactly. And if he's really of God as well, because then you will see if his faith links to your faith and your values as well.
Just one more thing to add as well, that's very important, that must be identified: the relationship with God.
Oh yes.
How do you know if someone's going to be faithful to you? Look at their relationship with God. If this person, this guy, or whoever it may be, is not faithful to God, there is a high probability they will not be faithful to you.
Indeed. They wouldn't value you, they wouldn't respect you. So look at that. How do you know this person is for you? Check to see their relationship with God. Check to see their faithfulness to God. And how do you know? By testing them through what they say, their conversations, their behaviors. That's how you're going to know. Mm-hmm. And the last tip as well is, trusting your love life in God's hands.
The ultimate.
The ultimate.
Yes, because God created each and every one of us with the same desire. All of us, we have this desire. In fact, every human being has this desire. We all want to be happy. And of course, God placed this desire inside of us. So if he placed this desire inside of us, he knows what's best for us. He wants us to be happy. So he will provide. And he will provide the very best. I have the very best today.
Indeed. He'll provide the best for you. So don't be anxious. Don't be desperate. Oh, I need someone in my life. I need someone to fill the void in me. This is what the Holy Spirit does. He fills that void in you, not your partner. It just adds to you.
Exactly.
So don't be anxious, or don't be, oh, we have to get married now. I need to find someone. Time is ticking. Don't try and do things by yourself. Because when you try to do things by yourself, you're going to make a mistake. Adam did not choose his own wife. God was the one that chose the wife for him. So the same way, your Father will bless you and your Father will give you the best. But this is where you don't just give him half of your trust. You need to give all of your trust and know that as he's preparing you, he's going to prepare the best for you.
Absolutely.
And in due time, it will come. So don't be anxious, because the heart is desperately wicked. Do you see what I mean? It wants us to fall. It wants us to make a mistake. Maybe you've made a mistake because you were quite anxious in a relationship, or maybe the person left you and you were desperate. Oh no, I have to do everything to bring him back.
Exactly.
No, trust in your Father.
When you trust in God and the blessing comes, the blessing comes sweet.
Sweet. And you don't need to run after it. The blessing comes and embraces you.
Yeah.
And you're more, how can I put it? You're more than blessed.
Yeah.
Okay? So remember this. Trust in your Father, who knows what is best for you and will always give you the best in the right time as well.
Yeah.
Okay? So we hope these tips really helped you. And we would like you to join us tomorrow for day number 5 on another topic on discipline. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.